Yo, what the fuck is going on? Today is December 9th. We're going over penny stocks, pre-market, and open market. We're going to start with ASST. So off the rip, ASST, if you look back here on November 15th, it ran up to about 150 in pre-market and then faded like a little bitch. It is basically to zero. So obviously 150 is going to be a key level. We're under that by a lot. So usually these types of plays don't have a lot of room to run, or at least in the past 2-3 weeks. They haven't really been doing a whole lot. Doesn't mean they can't produce momentum, but that's just something to keep in mind. We also have another push here to around 83, 85. I think there's another push later. No, there's not. So this thing's still kind of under structure from that pre-market high push. But we are kind of tapping over 85 here in pre-market. I do like the structure overall isn't terrible. We open, a little bit below VWAP here. So off of the rip, a nice little dip down to the intra 200. We do have this mini gap level, but it's only, 3 cents. So it's not really a big deal to me. But we do get a U pattern here into VWAP. It does push. We do have a nice 1 minute flag right there, basically to open price. This type of move in general, just kind of once something gets momentum, adding onto the open bell price or the open price tends to kind of work here and there. So not a bad little trade right there. From there to 85, back to kind of pre-market levels here to 90 cents. Pre-market high was 93. It does come back down. It does push again, but it kind of fades under this 85 and stays under there. For me, I thought in this section, once I saw it pull back all the way back down to here, we have not gotten a lot of midday pushes in the past couple weeks too. So for me, I like to go balls deep between 9:30, 10:30, and then pretty much call it there. So once it got to here, I'm pretty much done looking at it overall. But we do get today, actually in general, we got a bunch of different tickers that had midday pushes or they deeper pullbacks like this one, back to this level of 70 cents here at open price. So it kind of just consolidated there and then it made another huge move. So going over that, we do have that consolidation. We have a break of this downtrend. Right about here is where volume picks up. We have a nice push. To me, I would have loved this flag right here. Right there. I think did it halt right here? No, it didn't halt here. The price action here is a little bit whack. But once it got to here, cup and handles have been working really well as well in this market. Dip back down to 78. Pretty much this price, this dip level, nice little ads there, and then just fucking skyrockets into a halt at $1, and then she actually opens up lower than the halt, which kind of blows if you got into this right here. It's always probably a good idea to sell a little bit before the halt if you can, but most of the times I would say it either opens flat or above in a halt like this, but they bag everyone a little bit and then they push it back. They fake them out thinking, oh, well, it's over the halt level. It's going to keep going. And then they drop it down and then just fades under. I'm surprised we didn't get maybe another push right here off of this 87 back to maybe like $1 and then fade. But overall, this is a good trade right here. Nice 1 minute flag here. I don't really, to me, trading this is like, okay, I guess. I don't really love that one, but consolidation here, and then we build back up. So always good to, we'll see if tomorrow brings kind of similar price action, but we're going to review a couple others that do this as well. But once it died off, it faded and did nothing. So that was ASST. BBAI, this one also was a previous runner. It did run the past couple of days. So the highs we're looking at are 360 for it to hold. It does break that. We're well above that in pre-market. We open near 4s. This price action kind of weird. This fake out right here, you could say, and then straight up into 450, and then it died out. So I've seen this pattern a few times, where we have like it kind of like fakes out here and acts bearish, but then it pushes up. One thing to note as well are all these dips are the intra 200. In the past, we've seen intra 200 dips be super bullish as well. Not as much recently, but before we have this straight up action and then straight down action, I've seen a lot of too. So yeah, don't fight it when it's already coming back down, but nothing really much to go over there. Kraken, CRKN. I'm pretty sure ticker, as far as tickers go, a lot of them have their own personalities. CRKN is a personality of a piece of shit. So I like to stay away from this. Not that it really had a pre-market in general. We did have it run to 38 on December 4th. So no volume, don't care. Moving over to Duo. Duo also ran previously. So pre-market here at November 13th. It did push here on November 7th to 170. So to me, again, we're a little bit understructured here. To me, I didn't like it down here. We did start to push into that first pre-market high at 117. It comes back down. One thing to note as well is we're in the 60s when this starts, or 50s. So this thing is going to be a halt stock if it remains over $1, most likely. I don't know if it actually, yeah, halted here. This open right here, I mean, as far as taking open trades in the first 5 minutes, I mean, this is pretty dog shit right here. I don't really know. Like, it's like almost barcoding between 1 and 104. And then it put, so weird price action out of the gates for this. But we do get a push here. It halts at 940. There's a gap level from 120 to 126. Comes back down, halts down. Usually at this point, if something halts down, I like to stay away from it this early in the morning. But it does hold. It does push back up to kind of a double top here. I wanted to take some here. But just the way it was moving, I don't think I could place any stop orders in here for some reason. But so I decided not to. But this was a good little dip add right here. You have pre-market highs at 120. You have this gap level at 120. You have the previous pre-market high at 117. A lot of confluence in this little trade right here. You could have just, kind of rode the 190 EMA up as well. So nice little trade there. This one back to kind of the open price, and at the, you have to basically add on a down halt open, which is not really the recommendation I would give to people. But anyways, nice push here basically towards the 200 daily. And then from there, it basically died out. You do have a dip here to previous high off of these 130s right here. So that could have been a little trade. Still backside, but you don't really know that right here. But once it starts to fade, and then huge halt down, and then got blown out of the water. So again, nice with some 1 minute dips here. The open was dog shit, but this little trade was nice. And then this was a decent trade as well. FRGT. Let's take a look. This one popped to a key level at 220, came down, no volume, don't really care. GXAI. Let's take a look. So it ran yesterday, or ran on Friday. Its highs were 350. It was a nice pre-market. Pre-market was holding over that pivot for a while. It broke down, it broke back above. When I was trading ZEO at open, but seeing this hold basically 360s and then start to have volume and push, this is a really good open add here. We do run into VWAP. We come back down. We have two instances where we hold the intra 200. Actually, we have multiple here. Multiple wicks down in the intra 200. So if fast-paced scalping wise, this had some good little dips here. Held under VWAP and then broke down all the way back down to 350s. Again, from here, I kind of stayed away just because I don't really like it, but it did pull an ASST as well. Or no, not ASST, BBAI. Where it looks good, like as far as mini scalps, it could be good. We have this kind of fade back down where to me it's like it's probably going to come back down 375, 367 and base somewhere. But then it goes straight up. So GXAI did like the same thing. It, you know, in the morning, okay, it was okay. Had a nice little push here, a mini scalps, but it was fading under view up here. And to me at this point, it's most likely not going to work, have we seen the past few weeks. But we get this straight up action, and I'm like, okay, we're in it to win it here. This was a good dip right here, kind of like to the previous high. I was holding a chunk here for a 445 break, and we were very far away from pre-market highs at 490. So to me, I felt like we had a lot of room if this wanted to continue to go. So it did not. It held this 420 resistance point and then just came back down all the way again, which kind of blows, but you know, it is what it is. It comes back down to this trend line. So if you look to in pre-market action, there was this big downtrend. So we saw this on, I believe it was UPC from Friday. If we look at UPC real quick, let's take a gander. UPC yesterday, downtrend. We break through this downtrend. We come back. We have a nice flag. It comes down. It doesn't come back to the highs here. It comes all the way back down to basically to the downtrend support line. So in this spot right here, we're still over that downtrend, and then it pushes straight up. So for me, I was kind of looking at that as well. You know, we break that downtrend. It's a little weird with this right here, but we break the downtrend. We kind of failed rotation here. We come back down. We hold the downtrend. It comes flat, holds the intra 200 as well. We have a support at 380. So there's still a lot of reasons why this was still a bullish trend. We're still above this pivot right here at 360. We have this nice push, and then it fades back again. So this to me fucking sucks as well. At this point, I would have expected this to break through as a bullish stance, but then it kind of dribbles down. The price action just kind of falls apart. The volume fades away. Notice that it still holds that downtrend support, comes back out all the way to 360. But again, we get consolidation here. We push back up. It kind of comes back. So this to me is just so extended. But now that we're over view up here, or at least testing it, it's kind of back in play. And especially with ASST, where that thing came back to life and then won again, kind of following that trend. So GXAI right here kind of just grinds upwards to 450. It has a mini flags here and there over the 190 MA, and then just straight up. Fucking craziness. After all this jazz, it kind of grinds and then goes straight up, which is kind of weird. You don't really see that a whole lot of this, especially because right here we're already kind of broken those highs right there. Usually you get that stick like when it breaks through here. So kind of weird a little bit, but still nice. Holding the 190 MA push, goes all the way to 555. Comes back down to 472. Remember, pre-market highs at 490. So this dip is kind of meh here. You could have added some down here. A nice kind of U pattern again, where it goes straight back up to pre-market high, or not pre-market highs, might be. Goes back to a double top here, and then fades back down, and then dies out here. So we have a nice little push here. We have a dip back down to this 450s here. But again, this from here, from about 12:20 to about 2 o'clock, it was kind of meh price action. So, but that was good too. Good ticker in general. Strong moves. I think a lot of things today were delayed, just like GXAI and ASST, where things kind of shook people out and then moved later in the day. IPHA. Don't know what this is, but this type of pre-market action kind of sucks ass. We had the daily 200 at 220. Not really looking at it, no volume. JFBR, this thing had a pre-market on Friday that looked good. We have a volcano in pre-market, or yeah, pre-market here, so not really looking at it. Dies out. LDTC was probably the best pre-market action of the day. It comes from fucking 30 cents and gets all the way basically to $2. So again, we're gonna have a halt stock here. I tend to stay away from these because price action is just not like, the first candle can halt up or down. You can miss me with it, but we do have a nice kind of V pattern, U pattern here. Did daily 200s at 180. Comes back down, it holds view up. It kind of holds this kind of area right here where it bounces here, and we have this rejection here. So I guess a solid support line here at 140. It does push up, it breaks the 200, then insta halts basically back down, and then I think it pretty much died the rest of the day. There are some few cases of just random spikes into halts. Even here, like this price action is just choppy as fuck. Unless you're buying and kind of holding like through these support levels, there's really no momentum scalping in this. Very difficult, but overall, not the best, but not the worst. All right, MCRB, this one's a fader stock. Volcano, any volcano like this, and then low volume tends to be trash. MGX was the grinder of the day. I like this one a lot, but just the price action, the volume, it was just kind of like slow as fuck. You do have this little flag here. You do have a little double bottom flag right here. Bang, bang. But it doesn't really go anywhere. You know, okay. And then again, we have this middle day, this like breakdown right here. And it's like, to me, as I've seen before, usually this signifies just low volume garbage dump off. But again, we do have kind of low volume, but then it grinds back up. Kind of doing the same thing that GXAI did, just grinds back up to this level, like right there. We have a mini flag here, kind of a mini cup and handle, not really, and then it breaks. So it's holding this 19 EMA, then it shoots straight upwards into a key level at 340. We have a double top here, very similar to GXAI from like right this point. We have a dip, we have a double top, and it comes all the way back down. But this thing actually continued to go, fucking crazy. Comes back down, holds again, slow grind. You have this kind of inside 5 flag, kind of breaks through this downtrend at 322, goes back all the way up, and it's been grinding for like the entire day. So nice to see that. I mean, we basically have like this massive uptrend. I'm sure this extends down further, but overall nice to see. I think slower price action in general, but still like it. MRM, recent IPO, I'm not really sure. It goes up to its yearly highs. Anytime a fade pattern like this tends to not do anything, so skipping over that. OPTT, another one that yeah, it has a little bit of volume, but it's well under structure. No volume, gonna get rid of it. QBTS and QUBT have been running for a while. These are recycled names. They kind of died off the open and didn't do anything. I think QBTS and QBT did the same thing. Yeah, QUBT, strong sell-off here, and then just died out. RGTI, another one that ran on Friday. Kind of a grinder as well. We get this price action back to the previous highs. Well, this is... You could have added there at 440. I mean, not a bad risk right there at 440. You do get a pop back to basically 5, so good trade right there. But other than that, this has been kind of backside trading. RIME, also a day 2. No, not a day 2. Where did it run? Oh, this is the one with the massive gap, I think. So there's a huge gap from like 50, or no. Huge gap from 10 cents all the way to 17 cents. Price action here, kind of dog shit. Yeah, really nothing to talk about there. SATL, another one that ran on, what did it run? Yesterday or Friday's pre-market. It's over that pre-market level. it just kind of volume wise, price action wise, just kind of looks like shit. And again, nice push here out of the open, but we're just fading. It never really breaks this downtrend and then just fades off a cliff. SONN. Another one that's well under structure. I think it ran a while ago. So here it ran on November 6th. So well under structure here. The highs there were 12. So this to me is like a backside play at the open, breaks this, and some of these stocks have broken and then come back up, but this thing did not, just kind of faded off a cliff. Moving on, TAOP, another straight up volcano of fucking death. UOKA, another one with a massive gap fill from 25 to 59. This thing out of the gates, low volume, don't like it. There is a nice little flag here, pushes through, gets the pre-market high, then dumps. We've seen a lot of this last week where stuff will get to pre-market highs or even break it and then fade off a cliff, which is exactly what this did. If you missed it down here, the price action overall was tough to play. Nice move overall if you're in down here at the intra 200 level, but other than this move, it kind of died out. UPC, not going to go over that. That was just a reference. ZEO. This one I actually liked a lot. This one ran on December 5th. Highs were 250. Weird pre-market here, but then once we got here, it was still over it. The 200 was at 313. It was still over 250. I was looking for kind of like a downtrend break, kind of like what GXAI and what UPC did on Friday, where it breaks it, holds it, and goes again. This thing, we do have a dip here. I did actually get some here at 250, but it was a quick scalp up into this. I only got like half it off just because I wanted it to keep going into like threes and the daily 200 and come back down, but big stick downwards, held this support. So I was like, maybe they could go, maybe it might not. But once it breaks this, I was pretty much out. And then it just kind of stayed under that level for the entire day. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oof. All right. Holy shit. That was a long one. So overall market, you got GXAI, you got ASST, things, you got midday runners, you got momentum kind of scattered left and right, you got high dollar stocks, you got penny stocks. Right now, I think last week, same type of scenario where we have mixed bag. We have volume here, volume there. Overall, I still think it's a decent market, but it is tough to, there's a lot moving. So it is hard to kind of stay focused on one or two tickers. Going into this week though, I will be watching for midday pushes, stuff that breaks down and comes back up. That seems to be working today. Doesn't mean it will work tomorrow, but just something to look at. Downtrend breaks, holding of downtrend breaks have been super bullish as well. That's 2 days in a row, trading days in a row that we've seen this work. But yeah, overall good market, and yeah, we're gonna fucking kill it tomorrow.